K-pop girl groups have been around just as long as the genre has existed, with many reaching major success and lasting long in the industry, while others disband with only a week of debuting. Some mistreated, some treated better than others underappreciated and overrated. The word Nugu or Nugudom in K-pop refers to a K-pop group that is unknown or unpopular, with the word literally translating to who in Korean. We've seen thousands of Nugu girl groups over the years, and as a K-pop fan of 6 years, some of them I genuinely loved. A noticeable theme I've noticed with the Nugu K-pop girl groups are the multiple lineup changes surrounding every single one. I've always wondered why this is the case and why this is so common, and in this video, you'll learn more and I'll be able to answer some of those questions to some extent. For this video, I reached out to a fellow K-pop YouTuber called Jihoon's Carrot, but I'll be referring to her as Sun throughout this video. And I asked her if I could interview her for this video, and she agreed. Jihoon's Carrot is known for covering these Nugu girl groups on her channel, so I thought she'd be perfect to help me answer some questions about this topic. Thank you so much to Sun for agreeing to this interview. I asked her a couple of questions, and for each I will show and read her responses on screen, and add my own opinion afterward. And at the end of the video, I will come up with a couple reasons. Alright guys, let's get started. Question 1. What are the girl groups with the most lineup changes throughout the group's career? If you know the top 5, let me know. Quote, there are a decent amount of girl groups that have huge amounts of changes. I believe the top 5 are Rania/Black Swan, Baba, LPG, Bad Kiss, and Leaders. Other ones I know that have a lot of former members are, for example, Hint. End quote. If you're a follower of Sun's channel, then you know that she has covered 4 out of the 5 girl groups with the most lineup changes. In order of the most lineup changes, Leaders is in first place, followed by Rania/Black Swan, then Bad Kiss, then Baba, and lastly LPG. Throughout this video, we will be referring to the girl groups in the top 5, but other girl groups will be mentioned. Number 2. Why do you think those girl groups, the ones you mentioned, all have in common? Quote, I think there are 2 reasons. The most known and common reason is the lack of planning and skill on the company's part. It takes a lot of work to run a K-pop group, not even to mention actually trying to make that group actually succeed. So it's overconfidence and lack of trust. So seeing members leave often and rapidly, it's a huge flag because things behind the scenes must be very bad. The second reason is more of a theory, but it is the fact that some labels will open with the purpose of money laundering and or sex trafficking/exploitation. It's of course not as common, but it does happen. These people with loads of money will open a label, run the money through the label, aka money laundering, and then close the company down. So any group that might be under the label is unfortunately caught in the crossfire. Other people open labels with alternative motives. They prey on desperate young kids that just want to be an idol. In my opinion, Sun's reasons are very accurate. As K-pop fans, we've seen time and time again how female idols are exploited by their companies and how they mismanage the group's career. A recent example of exploitation is the whole Maiden situation, where a member named Gaon was assaulted by the CEO. I believe Gaon was still a minor when the group was still known as Limelight, which, after doing some research, I think so. And the way the company handled it was extremely bad. From what I know, the boycott is still going on, and as I'm recording this video, 2 members have also left the group and the company. Question 3. Do the companies behind these girl groups have a history of doing this? It seems so, yes, although some of the companies that host these groups had one group. For example, Baba. That label only had one group when Baba debuted, but Purin, who started the company, was in Leaders. But the company behind Leaders and Rania, for example, yes, have their long history of this. It's all about testing what group or lineup might throw the group into fame. It's about speed, views, and money. Follow-up question. Would you predict companies like Baba's would try again at making another girl group? If so, would that group have a similar fate like their senior group? Quote, I highly doubt it. Not at least Baba's. Most of these huge lineup groups are a bit older, but we have seen it happen more recently, like with Busters or with Queen's Eye, that had multiple members leave and then they replaced them, but keep the same name even though it's basically a completely different group. The K-pop industry is constantly moving. Not every group is going to be successful, obviously. Usually the groups from the big four are the most popular groups, but we've seen groups not from the big companies become really successful, such as BTS, which before they were known as the big four, they were known as the big three. An example Sun did give was Busters, which if you didn't know, Yeso, formerly Maiden and Kepler member, and Chaeyeon of Triple S are former members of that group. K-pop fans don't want a group where the members keep changing throughout the group's career. They want members who will stay until the group's disband or something else happens. It may be common in the J-pop industry, where the idol industry is arguably larger, but K-pop is a different playground. Question 4. Why do you think this is more common with Nugu girl groups than Nugu boy groups? Quote, I think there are many reasons, but a big reason I think it's because these Nugu girl groups have a different audience. Overall, girl groups, the Nugu ones in particular, have loyal fan bases, but there is also the more disturbing reason that girl groups are more marketed as a product, a sexual product. The past few years, the Nugu boy groups have been seeing much more support. So many companies seem to be trying to debut girl groups. I honestly couldn't name a K-pop girl group that hasn't been sexualized to some degree throughout their career, and that's up for debate. Girl groups don't have enough longevity in the industry compared to boy groups. Not many girl groups, especially during the first, second, and early third generation, disbanded after their 7-year contract, unless you were super popular like SNSD, Twice, and Blackpink. The only ones who never officially disbanded kind of fall under the same category as the ones that didn't renew after their 7-year contract. I can name 10-year-old boy groups that are more active than girl groups, like Highlight, Infinite, and Shiny. Some with varying levels of success and varying time on music releases, but you get the point. Girl groups are treated like fresh fruit. Once the older ones begin to rot or expire, people move on to the new fruit in the store. That kind of sounded harsh, but you guys understand what I'm trying to say, right? Fifth and final question. Have these Nugu girl groups with multiple lineup changes been able to become popular, or have failed more than they have succeeded? No, I can't really say any group like this has made it big. There are, of course, fans, even after the group disbands. There's a huge fan base for non muses, but for most people, they don't want to put in effort, time, money, and love into a group and members that might not even be there in a month. It pushes people away. It's never a good feeling, and K-pop fans know that now. I couldn't agree more with Sun's words. I've noticed this trend of people actually checking out groups after they disbanded, but when the group was active, people didn't really care about them. For example, Purple Kiss. They disbanded at the end of 2025, and as someone who followed them since debut, I was really sad when they ended up disbanding. They were one of my ultimate groups, and seeing them disband was one of the saddest parts of K-pop 2025, in my opinion at least. I saw many people finally giving more attention to the group when it was announced they'd be disbanding. Maybe it's just me, but I saw it a lot. I'd say unless the girl group came from a big company, aka La Seraphim and Idol, and lost a member, they'd still be popular. Sometimes, not always. But other than that, the groups mentioned haven't really reached great fame. And I'm not saying every group under the big four/big three, after it lost a member, they still remained relevant. That is possible, but it's not impossible. Throughout this video, we talked about a couple things. As a result, I have come up with 3 main reasons why Nugu girl groups have so many lineup changes. You're welcome to add or remove some in the comments, but these are the ones I found the most obvious. Number 1, poor management/mistreatment. Number 2, long hiatuses between comebacks. And lastly, number 3, company exploitation/sexualization. There are more reasons I wanted to add, but I like these ones the most. Thanks so much to Sun for agreeing to collaborate for this video, and this would mark the first collab video on my channel, so hopefully I'll have more in the future. If you have any thoughts or opinions, let me know in the comments because I want to know what you guys think. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!